Waiting. I was just uploading the interview with Bao to the story. It looks sick. You'll enjoy it, bro.
Keen to see it. Really keen to see it. Been waiting for that one.
Want to see every single one of you here in Dubai. I'll interview you right over there. 100%. 100%. Cool. All right, sweet guys. Well, we don't need any formal introductions. Nobody's new here, so we can jump straight in. Does anybody have any quick questions before we jump into role play? Anything you're gonna help out with, Coach Sam?
And man, um, I mentioned iPad to you beforehand, but I've had a bit of development. So
Hmm.
basically, I had a chat with Maurice and I told him I'm looking for more growth, right? And then he
Hmm.
said that he can put me on as an appointment setter. But from what I've heard is that the appointment setters are doing cold calls and they've only got three closed at the moment. So my question is this normal for people to transition from appointment setters in small companies to closers, or is that like a dead end?
So, in essence, you've had a conversation and he's promised you, or he's alluded to the possibility of transitioning from setter to closer
Yeah,
with it's the real estate agency, right?
yeah.
Um, no, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like what was the timeline that he said?
No timeline, but he was boasting that his top closer transitioned within a month. But I think it's because they had a pretty good relationship,
Okay.
right?
All right. So the big thing you want to realize with every business owner and every offer owner is that we need to take what they say with a grain of salt always, because well, I mean, it's their job. Like as a business owner, they're trying to sell you into working for them. Like that, it makes total sense. So they're
Mm,
not doing anything really wrong from their part unless they're directly lying, which a lot of business owners do. Um, what you want to do is you want to have a very clear timeline and pathway to actually doing that, to transitioning. Because you're right, if he's just built a relationship with Maurice and he's just gone on that transition in a month, you
mm,
don't want the position or the transition that you're trying to get into to be based off a relationship. You want it to be based off performance, right? So if I were to even consider it, based off that one variable of whether or not I can transition to closer quickly, I would be like, well, great, that's amazing. What would you actually need to see from me from a KPI perspective for a certain amount of time that would actually warrant and merit that transition to closer?
okay,
Because otherwise, it's just all kind of airy fairy up in the air. Oh, yeah, like I think you're doing well. Like, let's put you to a closer. You never want to be in that position ever.
okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that's a good one actually. I will ask him that. Thank you.
No worries. And that's for everyone here as well. Always, always, always be firm with that for sure. Like, don't leave it up to chance. I know, for example, like Levi recently. So you got like a setting role at ecom, right?
Yeah.
So same rule applies. It's like don't be at the point where like you're ungrateful for the position. That's not like the conversation we're having with the business owner or the manager. It's just like you're showing aspirations, you're showing, wanting to get after it. You want more, you want more development. So I would say from the get-go, whether it's you, whether it's Sammy or it's like anybody else here, show aspirations, not being in like a when can I come become a closer? It's like what can I do to merit that transition and what will that look like? Like what do you need to see from me? How long do you need to see it? Like very, very dialed on the specifics. Super, super, super important. Otherwise, I've literally seen people get stuck in 1, 2, 3, 6 months, 12 months traps where they're just kind of endlessly walking this circle and doing the same dance with managers. It's very, very bad.
That's gold. Yeah, that's really good, Connor. Thank you.
No worries. Great question. Josh, what's going on, bro?
How's it going, mate?
Good.
Just a quick question. How do I go about people wanting to know about your experience when you have a lack of experience?
In what
So,
context?
like, I'm filling out forms and application forms and like the job post, or it'll say no experience needed, but then the very first question will be, what experience do you have in phone calls? Can you give us phone call logs, not role play? And it's like I don't have any of that. So it's like I feel like I'm being held against me.
Yeah. So when you're going the job application route, and you're going through job posts and again, just job application route, LinkedIn, these type of things, this is the objection that's going to come up
Yeah.
100%. Like that's just going to happen. Because you are being treated like a job applicant, or more or less, you're going the route of a job applicant. So that there is no way to, in essence, get around that because it's a perfectly warranted question for the way that you're trying to get jobs.
Yeah, so it'd be more focused on the networking stage before that and
What
building
I Yeah,
relationship.
what I suggest for all of you here as well, especially if you're looking for your first roles, is networking can take a bit of time, but it is the most effective out of everything, right? You need one conversation, one relationship to get a really good job. But again, like I mentioned, sometimes it can take a bit of time. And when you're first starting out as well, we need to have as much coverage as possible. So, a rule of thumb that I would recommend personally, 70-80% of your time is spent on networking and recruiters, whereas 20 to 30% of your time is spent on job posts, job applications, job boards, LinkedIn, things like that. Just so you've got a mix between the two of like more short-term stuff and maybe something hits, maybe get lucky. Who knows? Literally had clients in the past who, like Ryan Massey, for example, he got the job he's on now where he makes 10K plus a month, and he got that by a job post just randomly. Um, and he did very well in the interview, but he just didn't have the experience that was required, and he just reached out because why not? Even if they say they need experience, just apply. Why not?
Yeah, I've still been
Also,
applying. It's just like even somewhere like giving scenarios of what to do, and it's like I wouldn't even know. And it's like I got no experience to even fall back on to answer their questions. And it's like maybe I'm jumping the gun a little bit or
are you going for a closing position or a setting position?
setting position.
Okay. What are questions are they asking you? And also, before you answer that, when you get asked these questions, if you struggle answering them, just send them into the community or just send them to me and I'll help you answer them.
Yeah. Um, I think one was like, oh, in this role, you'll have to do your own outbound leads and own find your own sort of clients or something along the lines of that for this setting
Mhm.
role.
Right. Doesn't sound great. That sounds like cold outreach to me. That doesn't sound like outbound.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know then.
So
All good.
outbound in the context, just to understand, like outbound is like when you're just calling someone who doesn't know they're being called, but they're in the client's ecosystem where they've put in their number or their email for like a freebie, a video. They've interacted with the company in some aspect.
Right.
Whereas like I might be totally wrong, but from like what you're describing, it sounds like you're reaching out to people with your own Facebook profile and stuff like that. Don't even bother doing those. That'd be the biggest waste of time.
Yeah, no, this was through a couple of recruiters, but it was more just the experience. Like I'm getting stuck on not having any experience and then them asking what experience do you have, even though it wasn't really, it was trying to suggest that it wasn't necessarily needed. But
Yeah, but the thing is, don't think about it too much as an objection. Just roll through it. Like
Yeah,
you've got transferable skills you've already gotten from your previous careers and your current career. So just highlight what you do have. Don't focus on what you don't. Like when, for example, if someone asks me what's your experience in like an application form, I don't have any. I'm just gonna say, here's the experience I do have, and here's how it's applicable to sales. Instead of just saying, oh, I don't have any experience, I can't apply, or I don't have any experience, I'm stumped. It's like, just have a crack, right?
yeah, no, I get it. That's what I've been doing. I just, yeah, wanted to see if I was going about it the wrong way. It's all good.
No, that's totally fine. Um, yeah, that first little phase of like applying and finding jobs and things like that and being met with the what's your experience question is tough. But the whole idea behind networking as well is that you'll still get asked the question of what's your experience, but if you're actually on an interview, you can actually handle it properly.
That's the part. I haven't even been able to get to the interview to sort of actually explain my experience properly. It's just through the
Hmm.
forms, but
Yeah. And it's just
we'll just keep
that's
going with it. It's all good.
100%. And then networking, all we need is one shot to get on an interview. And then if we actually handle it correctly, like you've gotten the interview training modules, then you can actually convince somebody. It's like moving to a sales call, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Whereas like if you're just in the form application process, it's like dropping the price in the DMs with someone who's not really that qualified. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, I get
Like
it.
they're just gonna
That's
be,
how I was thinking. Yeah,
yeah, they're just gonna be scared away.
yeah. No, that's fair enough. Appreciate it.
No worries. Good question. Sweet guys. Well, we only have 5 minutes till we pass over the Q&A call, so we can do some Q&A call, some role plays later on, if you guys would like to do so. Um, Otherwise, we can run general Q&A as we normally do. Um, if not, if you guys don't have many questions today, we can always take a look at one of my calls as well. I know you guys really enjoy those breakdowns. We can have a look at one that I haven't reviewed before and break one of those down. Um, just depends on if we have the time. I don't have any calls immediately afterwards, so I can go a little bit over time if we need to. But if you guys want to pop some suggestions in the chat, whether or not you guys have questions or you want to see me do a core review, I'm really happy to do either or. Would love to see some feedback. All right. Well, money fear objection handling. Is there a sales call in the portal where we have that? If not, I might have something similar. Does anybody know from just thinking about it if I have a call in the portal that it has something that's to do with money fear a little bit? No, no, I can think of any. Um, all right, well, we'll take a look at a couple calls today. Um, we'll go through snippets of calls for sure. Um, I think we've broken down. I'm just trying to take a look. I've got an interesting one for you guys from someone who's inside the RSA that I haven't seen for a long time. Which was kind of like a partner objection slash money objection. If you guys want to see that. Yeah. All right, just bear with me. This one here, you guys probably haven't seen before. This is a while ago. This was last year. It's probably a little bit over 12 months. Let's see, Levi, if you've already gone. All right. So bear with me for some reason. Zoom is glitching out. All right, can you see that okay? Yeah. All right, cool. So this is an example of a business partner objection, I think. So partner objection, kind of like money fear as well. Um, yeah, you guys will see how I handle it. You're gonna learn something from it in the way that this is not how I specifically would recommend that you objection handle, but you can see what I spoke about earlier in terms of me breaking the rules. So this prospect was very skeptical. He was a referral from Kashi, and he was uh, dropping like trust objections throughout the call. I had to reframe it a lot. I had to really kind of work a lot throughout the call, in the discovery up until this point. And then he basically just gave me a partner objection, right? So not quite a money for your objection, but partner objection.
Call to him, make sure I could, use that money and then kind of go from there. And I'm happy to have follow-ups from yourself. And then, it's like I said, I'm in this limit. It seems viable.
What are we just noticing off the jump from Mr. Prospect? How's he reacting? Like what's his behavior?
He's on his back foot, very nervous.
Correct. Yep, for sure. And this is where we're going to find pretty much all of our prospects will be in objection handling. They're either going to be in fight or they're going to be in flight. And right now he's kind of in flight mode. So we need to approach this very calm, very relaxed, very open. Just as I'm speaking now, take a step back, relax, right? Calm situation. Because the moment that you do anything to induce pressure here, or you create resistance, or you kind of push the person into a box, they're just going to go. They're going to say, I need to think about it. I need to go pat my dog. I need to do all these bloody whatever, right? That's exactly where this is going to go if we don't approach this with being very calm and detached. So just something to observe. Okay. So that's an interesting concern. So he's also testing me as well, which again will not directly apply to you guys. You can't just say that's an interesting concern, you know, like you can't say "Oh, that's an interesting money objection, right? You can't say that obviously, but he was testing me a lot throughout the call. So I was just having fun with it at this point and kind of breaking the fourth wall and then just basically telling him what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So your fund logistically tied up in your business partner's bank account,
Yeah.
and they're not necessarily yours.
Well, it's 50-50. Um,
Okay. And would the amount be your 50% or would it be a part of his 50%?
That
So again, just I want you guys just to observe. I'm so calm. I literally don't care. Like I'm not like frantic, pedantic. I'm not moving fast. I'm not speaking fast. I'm not nervous. This is very much at this point in time that the conversation we're having is very logistical. Cool. All right. No worries. Like, is that your half or is that his half? Okay. Who owns the business bank account? Like, it's a very logistical conversation. So that's exactly how I'm approaching it.
would be solely mine.
Okay.
But at the same time, that money could be used for.
Basically, again, he's just giving me the objection like, well, it's, in my business partner's bank account. I can't use it. But now he's telling me that it's solely his half of the money that he would be spending. So it makes no sense.
Advertising costs. So I just need to make sure that it would be everything that I do in this situation. I always relate to him at the same time.
Interesting one. See, what I'm thinking right now is whether or not this is logistical or is this is a smokescreen.
What do you mean by that?
So a smokescreen, if I explain it to you well enough, is basically, I guess, a facade behind the real concern or the real objection. Corey?
Just for some context, is this guy another closer? Like he
Yes.
knows putting him through?
Well, he's not another closer, but he's looking to get into sales.
Right. So he's got an idea of what you're putting him through.
Yes, yeah, he has an idea for sure. And he was throughout the sales call and discovery, like I mentioned before, he was dropping different trust objections and things like that. And I brought it like kind of broke the fourth wall for a second. And I was like, all right, man, so you give me trust objections, are you? And he's like, what? What do you mean by that? I'm like, well, you're referred by Kashi. Like that's the strongest connection you can have to me. Like you literally have someone that you know that's personally gotten results with me. Right.
Yeah.
So what's like why are you asking these questions? And
So
you just
he's
go,
trying
oh, I
to
don't
get
know.
into I understand what's going on. So he's trying to get into the RSA and he's giving you this bullshit.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, I understand now. I was just that's why you're slapping around. I see.
Yeah. Logistical simply is what we just walked through. So you just talked through the different payment plan that we had option. We made sure it was feasible and good for you. And now moving forwards, it's purely just a logistical conversation. But I'm thinking whether or not this has turned into a bit of a smokescreen or a concern that you have at the back of mind. I think from the way that I'm viewing it, and the reason I'm explaining to you breaking the fourth wall right now is because I know you're probably enjoying this, but I think that it is a logistical concern, given that you have funds tied up. But the thing that confuses me is that you have you're talking about 50% ownership of the funds, which he has no control over, which kind of makes no sense.
It's one of those. I mean, I can imagine if you were business partners, if you're doing this with someone else.
So what you're going to see with prospects in objection handling as well is they're always going to try and sell you the objection, right? They're always going to try and it goes from you selling them to them selling you. He's trying to frame me right now. He's trying to sell me. He doesn't realize what he's doing. It's unconscious. It's subconscious. Like he's just acting as he is. He's not thinking while he's doing this, but it's gone from me selling him to him selling me. So it's very important that we are always holding our ground here, right? We're always in the position of authority, and we are like, that's bullshit. Like, that's 100% bullshit. That makes no sense, right? What he's saying right now. So we need to call that forward, which I'm hoping that I do. Otherwise, it's going to look bad, but yeah.
And all of a sudden, it is potentially your money, um, but it is kind of a joint account. You'd like to inform that person first of, what would be happening.
Okay.
Um,
What
and
time is it in the UK?
it is 12 o'clock or 10 to 12.
Like midday?
Yeah,
What's he doing?
I'm happy to give the guy a call.
Yeah,
Um,
just give me a ring now while we're here. See if he picks up.
on the whilst we're on the call.
Yeah, just mute yourself and then just give me a ring.
That's
Cool? Okay. Right.
I mean, like, if you, I don't know, doesn't that put some pressure on him? Like, you really like, okay, go talk to your business partner right now. Like, go do it.
No, no, because it's the way that it's done, right? It's the way that it's done. I want you to kind of just listen to how I say it, right? If I'm just like, go talk to your business partner right now, right?
Mm,
He knows he's bullshitting me.
cool.
Just listen to the way that I say it. Yeah,
Um,
just give me a ring now while we're here. See if he picks up.
on the whilst we're on the call.
Yeah, just mute yourself and then just give me a ring. I'm telling him what to do.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like you have to do this. I'm just saying like, yeah, it's fine. Go do it.
Yeah. Because, like, I know on his end, he's like shitting bricks. Like, he's never had to call someone while on a sales call. Like, call it. I don't
Hmm.
know. Would it create too much friction there? Or do you feel like if you call them out on their stuff and like slap them around, they'll actually more likely to buy than go off and hang up?
Yes. Yeah. Particularly this
Okay.
prospect here. Like
Okay.
he was just very nervous and he just needed to be told what to do.
Fair enough. Got it.
You'll find that most people in this world want to be told what to do. They just do.
Interesting.
People on the path of least resistance, they want to know what to do, they want to be led, they want to be guided. So all you have to be is the person that tells them what to do.
All right. Sweet. Let's hear it.
Yeah. But you guys can watch. Like, look how casual. I'm just like, yeah,
Nice.
cool. Yeah, call him. And
Cool.
look, I just go, all right, I'm off to
Okay.
get a glass of water. I'm like, all right, give him a call. I genuinely didn't care. Like I genuinely didn't care, and you can feel it. It's like whatever. So he calls him up, and then he comes back. I have to go on my phone for a bit. Just replying to some DMs, making some money. And then he's back.
Hi, Paul, can you hear me? You're not on a call, are you?
Yeah, cool. How do we go? Yes or no?
Yeah, so I can take the money out. Obviously, we were going to be using some of that money for, obviously, the guy is a little bit confused in terms of we're going to be using some of that money for equipment, in terms of like a new camera and a few tripods.
So basically what he did is I won't go through that, but basically, he's just like, yeah, can't do the full upfront amount, but can we do things logistically? This payment plan, this. That's it. Done. Right. So again, there's a few things we can pick up from that. Again, just like how we approach it, how nervous the prospect is in general. And just how to react when that type of stuff happens. It's very chill, right? If they're freaking out, you're freaking out, there's gonna be problems. Any questions on that call from anybody else?
Yes. I'm trying to relate this back to like maybe a money objection, right? So when you say that they're going to try to sell you an objection, would an example of that be like, yeah, I'm on, social security funds, or I've got this bill to pay, I've got that bill to pay. Is that similar kind of?
Yep, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely
Yeah,
you
makes
are.
sense.
But like what can we do right now with the resources we have on hand with what we can find so you can actually get to where you want to go? Because yeah, absolutely. You're on this, you're on that, you're on this, you're on that. Absolutely, 100%. But
Mm,
it's about not doing blah blah blah. It's probably something smart you can say. Just like it's not about what we don't have, it's about what we can find.
okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Cool. Um, any more questions on that? We can move on. No. All right, cool. Let's take a look at here. Business coaching. Let's see here. So we've done a bit of review on this one before, I think, but it'd be good to take a look at for how nervous someone gets in objection handling. Same and similar rules as well. Or
Yeah, correct.
settings. Let's look. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, 5,000. Correct. AUD.
Yeah. Is that
As I've pointed out a million times, but I need to point it out again just in case you guys don't know. Never, ever, ever do this. What I'm doing right now. Never, ever do that. So stupid. So stupid. Never, ever show this page like that. It is, I don't know why I did that. I can't believe I still made the sale. The reason why is because the prospect's going to get so confused. Like this page alone has so many different prices on it. It's got different currencies. Like it looks like we basically charge the same price based off the country here, just in different currencies. So like there's so many things that is probably going on in the prospect's mind right now. This is why I literally caused this objection to come up. Like it was literally my fault that this happened. So never share your screen with a payment page or anything like that. Don't do anything. Just put in their information on your side. Like it'll work totally fine. She's like, cool. She's gonna take you through the checkout page, name, email, number, things like that. Works perfectly fine doing that. Just never show this page like that because this is literally how I caused this objection to come up.
like obviously if this goes through, that'll be straight away, yeah?
Yeah, correct.
Obviously, if this goes through, it'll be straight away, yeah? Right? Nervous, unsure, uncertain, right? That might also be perceived as logistics or a fear of spending money. We don't know just yet.
I guess, would it help you if we made it a little bit more digestible, like broke that down a little bit?
I kind of bend the knee here where you shouldn't do that, right? Went straight for payment plans where I shouldn't have gone for payment plans. I should have not a problem, funding aside, would you do it? Can you tell me why though? Right? Always get a commitment and tie down to the solution and why, and then start walking through and finding ways that can become resourceful to collect more cash up front. The reason that I just bend the knee here and I didn't care whether or not he did a payment plan or not is as a closer for this offer, I got paid regardless of what payment plan they get. So even if they were on a three pay of 1,667, I still got paid a flat rate. So I didn't care. Like I'm just going to close people on the three pay every single time because I'm still going to get paid the same. So in most cases, I recommend all of you to focus towards cash collected up front, obviously, because most cases you're going to be paid in the cash that you actually collect for the business, right? So definitely keep that in mind, Samuel.
Yeah, you mentioned that you should have said funding aside, would you still do it, right? What
Yeah.
would you go down? What path would you go down if they don't really bite for that and they just continue on the no, I can't afford it, right? They don't buy into the like funding aside, would you do it kind of question.
Let's role play it. So you be the prospect. So yeah,
Mm.
that's not a problem. Funding aside, would you do it?
Um, yeah, well, I know it is really expensive, so I'm not even too sure.
For sure. I mean, but let's just consider for a second that I just got a
Hmm.
bag of cash, put it on your
Mm.
doorstep, 5K. This is Sammy's education fund. Like, would you do it?
Hmm. I mean, yeah, but like I don't really have a bag of cash, right? I'm on Social Security and it's really
But
hard for me.
if we were to just imagine a happy scenario where that happens, right? Funding aside, money aside, logistics aside, social security aside, would you do it?
Yeah, I guess so.
You sure?
Yeah, like money's tight, so if it
Okay.
was
Putting it money
purely,
aside though, like
yeah.
why do you feel like you would do it? Because you don't have to, right? Let's
Mhm.
say that the money wasn't a concern. Like why do you feel like you would do it though? You literally just steamroll them.
Okay, just gas pedal, just fucking
Just
go.
push,
Okay,
just push them.
okay.
Yeah, like I get that 100%, but like that stuff aside, is it what you're looking for? It's a
Mm,
pretty simple question. You don't say
mm,
that. You don't say it's a pretty simple question, but like
mm.
it is. It's like, come on, just
Okay,
answer my question, man.
okay. So big boy pants again. Okay,
100%. Just tell,
yeah,
again, tell people what to do.
yeah.
You will be
Okay,
surprised. Everybody wants to be told what to do. Everybody wants to be led. People just want to shut their brains off, and just be guided to do it for
yeah.
them.
That makes plenty of sense. I think that's what I'm missing, to be honest. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Of course. You'll see in the interview with Bao, we talked about that one thing as well that he worked on as well. Um, I told him that same advice a while ago, which we spoke about on the coaching call, which is just like put your chest up, be more confident, um, take that advisor frame on, and understand that again, they're coming to you for help, right? So act like it, right? You're the expert,
Yeah,
you're the advisor.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
and even if you can't think about that right now, the best thing that I would do back in the day is I was very much like that as well. And so how I kind of got into that mindset or that frame of mind is using Matt Ryder as an alter ego, right?
Hmm.
I just think how can I emulate those qualities and those characteristics of Matt? You know, a special forces sniper that literally kicked indoors and shot terrorists in the face for 10 years. Like
Mm.
he's not going to care that guy isn't really going to care about whether or not the prospect is, gonna what they're going to think of them or whatever. We're literally having a conversation.
Mm,
Paris and I've just spent 10 years shooting people in the face, literally murdering people. Like having a conversation is like piss easy. It's a cakewalk, right? In that reality. Now, of course, you haven't done that yourself, but you can put yourself in the mindset and the mind frame of like, why should I really care? Right?
yeah.
Yeah. That's like that's the thing that helped me.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
I could
where-
kind of see Matt Ryder coming out just then, actually, when you were doing the money objection. So that makes plenty
yeah,
of sense.
literally. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to be honest. Like it was even
Mm,
to the point where um Matt would have this funny like exhale that he would do through his nose. Like it's like I even did that, like to the point. Like starting in objection handling mode and I just started like I can't even explain it, but like he had this weird
yeah.
exhale that he did. And I did
Yeah.
that even still just to kind of get me into that mindset and that mode because that's that wasn't the person who I was. I am a little bit I'm a lot better at it now for sure. Like back then that was not the person I was. Not very confrontational, very nice guy, very soft, right? And that really helped me of like, all right, what would Matt do in that situation? And uh brings up a good point. There'll be a YouTube video somewhere on the idea of the alter ego, right?
Mm,
So,
mm,
Kobe Bryant did this, the Black Mamba, right? That was his alter ego when he walked out in the court. Um, Beyonce, very famous celebrities and actors, they're not actually the person that you see on screen all the time. They put on an alter ego, right? And it's not like
yeah.
a inauthentic thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just bringing characteristics to surface that you already have. And so, for example, Matt explained this on a podcast one time where he would basically, when he got into objection handling for fitness, when he sold it for a long time, he would turn into a bit of an asshole, right? And he would take that home with him to his wife, right? He
Mm,
couldn't turn sales Matt off. And his wife was just like, you're being a bit of, right?
yeah.
And so he put the process in place to give them the ability to bring out that sales mat instead of being that the whole time, which you would have seen him play with cards a lot
Mm, yeah.
instead. So that what that does, that is his like totem, which is the whole idea of the alter ego, which kind of gets him into that mode where instead of him being an asshole all the time, he's only an asshole some of the times when he needs to be, you know?
Mm, yeah. No, I get that. Okay. Makes plenty of sense.
Of course. Yeah, it's a whole interesting thing. Like there's if it's like it doesn't even have to be a non-fictional character as well. It can be a fictional character that you really like, right? It can be a
Batman.
character. Hey,
You can be Batman.
if you want to,
Yeah.
if you want to have the alter ego of Bruce Wayne, you do.
Yeah. No.
Seriously,
Uh,
right? If you
yeah.
want to, for example, like have you ever seen Suits before?
Yeah.
Right? Every guy wants to be like Harvey Specter, of course, right? Smooth, charismatic, there on the beat, gets everything done better than everybody else, right?
Hmm.
Same thing, right? If you want to embody that character and you want to have that alter ego, you do. You start to
Yeah.
think, you start to act like that person. And then slowly but surely, that alter ego can, if you want it to be, become who you actually are. And your
Mm,
mind starts to not know the difference between and you become and embody that whole person. If you want to be as, smooth or as charming as Bruce Wayne, that's exactly how you think about it. Literally.
yeah. Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Corey,
Sorry, this has nothing to do with this call at the moment. It just sort of came to my head.
Fine.
So, like, obviously, the offer I'm now, like, I've got to work full time, obviously, and we have like KPI to reach our base. Now, I know, like, trying to set people on a Friday and trying to get them to show up on a Monday is like just not gonna fucking happen.
Mm.
Would a good idea be like on a Friday to obviously ring the new leads and possibly do like a follow-up call on Monday and then try and set them for Tuesday, Wednesday?
Yeah.
So just normally, like, because normally we have like a welcome call, and then regarding like how that call goes, we normally then roll into the process. So normally it's like, welcome to the club, like we genuinely want to be here, yada 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 yada. And then you try and be like, so what interested you to, potentially starting your own business? And then you roll through it, but be like, all right, cool. Just wanted to make sure you got all your resources, make sure you got to get logged in. Maybe let's touch base on Monday to see how you went over the weekend with it, sort of thing.
Mm. Yeah, I'd recommend it. So is this sorry, are these like people who've already bought the training we're trying to upsell, or people who've gotten a low ticket free community trying to upsell?
So yeah, so it'll be the new ones. We get like all new Ascension ones, so it's they have the opportunity to log themselves in and start a free ecom store for 30 days. So they
Mm.
don't actually purchase it anymore, which used to be $100 to get into that, but now it's for free. But normally you can get them before they've even bothered logging into them and get them set on a call. So that's like what I did today. Like I called all my leads today and got like five. Like I set like five today before they even logged into the program.
Mm.
So that's why I was like, maybe we just touch base on it, or like we just tune in sort of on a Friday, and then we let them go over the weekend, and then try and set them on the Monday.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Beauty. All right. Shall we?
Yeah, if that's okay. But also,
Yeah,
I
of
do have a
course.
financial review of my accountant very
Mhm.
soon. Um,
Mhm.
so I was gonna like discuss with them just a couple of things just in regard to finances and stuff like that. But it's definitely like something I'm definitely interested in. I haven't
Yeah.
discussed it with them as of yet. So
Mhm.
before I go ahead with that payment, I wonder if it's just okay if I can have a chat to them. In
Yeah,
regards.
Right away, what can we hear? What can we see, even though he's blurred? What can we hear? What can we see? He's
He's pretty
stressed.
rough, expensive.
Yeah, he's like, really nervous. He's like rubbing his neck. Like he's very nervous, basically. All right. He's in flight mode. Right. He's not sure. He doesn't know what to do. Right. And this would be an interesting one. What do you feel like what do you feel like the real objection is based off what we've heard? Like it's it's not money. I'll give you that. It's not fear, right? What's the thing we've kind of got or like from the get-go here though?
Say trust.
Smoke screen. This is a complete smoke screen. You can hear how he kind of just pulled it out. Like he didn't he it, just, he was super nervous and he just kind of just pulled it out. I want you guys to listen it because it's very important for you guys to be able to like listen and interpret like real objections.
I do have a financial review of my accountant very
Mhm.
soon.
Mhm.
So I was gonna like discuss with them just a couple of things just in regard to finances and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But it's definitely like something I'm definitely interested in. I haven't
Yeah.
discussed it with them as of yet. So
Mhm.
before I go ahead with that payment, I wonder if it's just okay if I can have a chat to them. In
Yeah,
regards.
that's not
I
a
know
problem. I guess just so I understand, when it comes to like talking to,
Did you guys hear it?
He sort of just blurted it out of nowhere. There was no
Yeah.
like construction to what he was trying to say.
Yeah. That's how you know. It's a lie. It's a smoke screen. Right. He just wanted something. He wanted an excuse. He wasn't sure what to say. And he's like, he was, he paused for a second. He hesitated. And then he's just like, oh, I've got a financial review coming up. Right. It's important to be able to listen and hear for these things.
did you say like a financial advisor? Who was
No,
that?
just my accountant.
Your
'Cause I'm
accountant.
having,
Right.
my,
I
I'm
understand.
I'm having a financial review next Friday, just in regards
Okay.
to the year that's been.
Okay.
And then yeah, I thought I was going to actually contact them and discuss this prior to
Okay.
going ahead with
Yeah,
that. Just
for
because
sure. I can understand that for sure.
yeah.
That's not an issue. But I guess like fun.
What did I do there?
Just pushed him straight down the funnel
Yep.
into the process.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Just listen, because like this guy is very nervous, right? He's very nervous. That's totally normal, totally fine, right? Totally warranted. I don't want to sound like I'm being like a dick to this prospect here, but like this is just, I've done this thousands of times, so it's like I know how this process goes. I just want you guys to see that because again, the big thing in objection handling, as you guys would know, is leadership. Like you need to lead someone. You need to be firm. You need to be convicted. The person who's the most convicted is going to win in this scenario and circumstance, right? So you need to act like it.
Prior to
Okay.
going ahead with
Yeah,
that. Just
for sure.
because,
I can understand that for sure.
yeah.
That's not an issue. But I guess like funding aside, like is
Yeah.
this something that you feel like you'd want to do?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely definitely seems like something. Yeah, I'm happy.
So
happy to
what
do.
specific element of the training do you think would help you best, do you think?
So I've already asked in the presentation, like, why do you feel like it is? So this is a variance of the question, so I don't ask the same thing again. So what specific element of the training do you feel like would be most helpful and most useful to you? Right?
And that's just so he can say it out loud for himself that it will benefit him.
Yes, correct. It's to tie him down to the solution, to say, yes, this is what I want to do, and this is why it's going to work for me, basically. So moving forwards, we now have an in-principle agreement between me and him that what I'm selling him is in his best interest. That's what we're looking for. Like we are in agreement mutually that this is what he wants to do. So everything I do moving forward is it's for his benefit, right? I'm not just selling him to something that he doesn't want to do. He's told me why. He's told me the gap. He told me he wants to do it. He told me it feels what he's looking for. It's the answers for what he's looking for. So it is in my moral and ethical obligation from that point to sell him this thing, in my belief. If you truly believe in what you sell, and you really, really honestly do believe that it's going to help that person with a problem that you guys solve as a company and that they're encountering, if they've told you they want it, if they've told you why they want it, if they told you they want to do it now, they've told you all the other things they've told you in discovery, again, it is in your moral and ethical obligation for you to sell that thing to that person. All right. Sales prospects need our help. That's the way that I view it. This guy's nervous, he's unsure, he's uncertain. So I need to do the best of my ability. I need to show up in order for him to have the space to ultimately make that decision. That decision may be no, and that's totally fine. Right? He has the control here. But I'm gonna do everything in my power to make him make the change because yeah, if he doesn't, he's gonna stay stuck, right? And I don't want that for him.
So I think, yeah, just more systems. I think like getting systems in just to make things a lot easier in regards to say quoting, yeah, quoting jobs, getting more leads. I would say. I'm not sure if that's part of that stuff there, but at the same time, the reason I haven't tried to get my name out there as much is because if I get that work overload, there's a lot of jobs that I probably wouldn't be able to get to. So I didn't want to give the business a bad name of not being able to show up to jobs as well.
It could be quite
so
tricky for sure.
that
Now, I guess just so I understand, when it comes to talking to your accountant, right? I can understand that, but I guess
So now again we've got that in principle agreement between me and him that what we're doing is in his best interest. That's what we kind of got there.
I'm concerned, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, man, like this is your business. You run this
Yeah.
business. You're
Yeah.
the leader. You're the captain of the ship, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like if you go to your accountant and say, I want to do a 5,000 business coaching program that's going to help me with my business.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to say that that's a great idea or a bad idea?
Well, they're going to say it's a good idea. Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm not quite sure that they will, right? Because at the end of the day, an accountant's point of view, they're looking at just the numbers, right? Gross profit, that's all that they see at the end of the day. But I guess the suggestion that I can make, if I can, is at the end of the day, you're the business owner, you're the leader, you're the captain of the ship. When you ask someone that's, for example, if you're driving the wheel of the ship and you're asking someone who's shooting the cannons down below the deck, right? It doesn't make a lot of sense because, you know, if you ask them to come up and drive a ship, they're going to be all over the place. You're going to be going everywhere, right? So at the end of the day, man, you know, when it comes to like speaking to accountants, things like that, I can break this down and make it a lot more digestible for you so that even, you know, when you go and have that chat, if you want to pay the rest in full later on, you can, but I can just make it so you can just make it more digestible over 3 months. So you don't have to waste any more time, you know, kind of thinking about the systems you're going to implement, but you actually have everything that you need to put yourself in the position to start winning with the business. Does that make sense? Kind of my thought process there.
Digest it a bit better. Yeah. That's all.
Yeah, because like you could digest it, and then if like there's nothing that would change,
No.
just put you on like what's the name? You can see it here, like
Again, horrible. Why would you ever do this, Connor? Why would you ever do this? Crazy to me.
It's not always
Crazy.
putting like, you know, like you go online, you're like, yeah, I'll buy this, but then it comes to putting your credit card details and you just like get the breaks. It's like, actually, do I want this?
100%. But the problem is, dude, like literally look at that there. You can see all the prices, all the amounts in different currencies, everything. That's so confusing. If I saw that, I would freak out too. I'd be like, whoa, why does it say 5,000 Canadian dollars and I'm paying this or that? Why, like, you know, it's his concern's perfectly warranted. You should not ever. 100%.
I can put you on like 3 months for 1,667. Nothing changes. It's still 5,000 overall. Do you feel like that would help?
Yeah, that might help for now, just because obviously, like, that would.
Yeah, and then when you can go have that conversation, and by doing that today, what you will do is you're actually making that change to going from, like we mentioned, from tradie to business owner. You're making that commitment, that step. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. So what we can do is, did you say you had to go grab your card or something like that?
Again, just like leading to the very last moment. Just say you got to go grab your card.
I think I'll just quickly run. I think it's in the
He doesn't even know what he's doing, where he's going.
car, but I can
No
run out.
worries.
I'll be
Yep. I'll see you in a sec. No issue.
There's me just checking myself out. And then... Of course. Little thumb up. He knows. He knows. Anyways, I found that funny. Maybe you guys didn't, but always got to do it. Always got to do it, especially when they walk away to get their card. Any thoughts on that? Any questions? Anything you guys you're unsure on? Nothing?
Got a quick one. I think Corey mentioned it like briefly before, but when they are panicking as you're taking their card details, how does that usually show up?
Kind of like he did there. Like he's very nervous. Like his voice is shaky. It kind of seems like he's half in, half out. It's very the prospect is very delicate at that stage. Like it's not going to be like, what do you need to do when you go to bed tonight? Like they're going to run away. Like you need to just like be very calm, very zen, very neutral.
Yeah.
No worries. No problem. You know, oh, but what does the card details go? Yeah. So, I mean, we have a payment processor, Stripe. pretty normal, pretty usual. All our clients use it, or most people in the education space use this payment processor. Super trusted, very well known. Oh, blah, 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 like no worries, it's fine, it's easy, right? Same thing as like when you have like the talking cadence, for example, when someone's talking really fast on a call, and you just begin to slow them down with your cadence, you'll watch them go from this to they'll meet you there because they're taking that as a social cue as the need to slow down. They'll eventually balance themselves out. If that makes sense. So the same thing is like when someone's super nervous, it's actually quite difficult. You can kind of do your own experiments and tests with it as well. But from what I've seen is if someone's super nervous and you're very, very calm, it's pretty hard to be nervous. It's like, it's fine. No worries. Nobody's gonna hurt you, right? It literally that's exactly how it's gonna be. You're all the way up here, like all super nervous, and then you just like slowly, you eventually come back to here, right? You can even tell them it's all right. It's okay. Take a deep breath. It's here. Fine. It's okay. Relax. Right? It's putting a smile on your face helps as well. It just shows you know, a lot of these things I do unconsciously now. So I try to explain it as I do it, but someone's nervous, I'm like, it's fine. It's okay. Like even just like putting my hands up like this, I think is just interesting. Just like, hey, nobody's gonna hurt you. No worries. Take your time. Take a breather. Right? Not a problem. Right? It's just like this is very like neutral. Like I'm not gonna hurt you. There's nothing I can do. You're safe. It's fine. Relax. Right?
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Doing phone closing, so probably just my cadence and my voice. Okay.
Do it as like they can't see you, but still be like, yeah, no worries.
Okay.
No problem.
Leaning it back in your chair does a lot as well.
100%. 100%. Like the difference in speech, like if I'm sitting more like upwards like this, it changes my speech even just my tone very subtly. But like if I'm over like this, it's very small changes, but it makes a big difference. But if I'm more stern and like I sit, you can even just hear it, just like slight change. If I'm more stern, I stick my chest out. Like I'm just gonna sound different. And again, persuasion, influence, communication, so much of it is nonverbal. So much of it is nonverbal. I don't know the exact stats, but it's like 80, 90% or something ridiculous like that. Don't know if anyone knows. Thanks,
No, but
brother.
it makes sense. Yeah.
How much of communication is nonverbal? 55%. So over half of what you're saying or your communication efforts is nonverbal. It's fascinating, really. Um, so yeah, and then it's 38% vocal. So that's your tone, I believe, as well. And then it's 7% is your words. It's a huge difference. It's really
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. 38% is vocal. So that's your tone. And then 7% is the words. It's really interesting. You think about it that way.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
All right. Josh, you got a question?
Yeah. How can I tell when like the prospects like how can I like increase my bullshit detector? Because I'm getting a lot of people saying I can't afford this or like that's just too much money. Well, like, and I'm trying to define like whether it's logistical. Usually I go down like the payment plan pathway, and then they say it's still too much.
Mm.
And then I'm like, what do I do now? Do I?
Well, Your bullshit detector just comes with time, unfortunately. Like it just comes with time, repetition. Like you hear it from someone, you go, I've heard this before, for sure. And it almost comes in the exact same words too. It's very funny. Um, it's very intuitive. It just comes with reps for sure. But like as far as like whether or not it's logistical or not, in the situation of what you're selling specifically, um, you should just dive into the situation as much as possible. So if it's logistics, it's like what I like to say is like, cool, no worries. Give me the lay of the land. What's going on right now? Do we have debts that we're paying off? Whatever. You can even say before that, um, Susie, I really would like to help you. So would you be open to having a very open, clear, and honest conversation about your finances?
Yeah, I say that. And usually they just say, oh, it's too much. And I'm like, fuck.
It might be the frame and also the marketing of the sales call for sure. Like, just I want you to understand what you, Ryan, Sammy, and Martino are doing right now. It is like proper trenches. This is like the training grounds. Once you get good at all these things, you cover your bases foundationally, you're gonna go to another offer and be like, this is so easy. It's a thing to understand. Just to preface the context. Like that's exactly how it's gonna happen. You get it on an offer and be like, wow, everyone's shit. Like that's like and these leads are so easy. Like that's exactly how you're gonna be thinking in comparison to what you're doing now. Um, so yeah, if they just go, oh look, it's just too much, it's too expensive, then it's like, what can you do? Like you've done your best. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Try to
Yeah.
dive into finances. If they're not going to budge, then I'm not going to budge.
No, yeah, that's fair enough. All right, cool.
Um, Vito.
Yo, man. I was just wondering, at that end stage of the call, does it help to like make them laugh or to be playful in a way? Because if it, I've heard, I might be wrong, but I've heard if it gets too serious, then you sort of lose them.
I wouldn't say if it gets too serious, you lose them. Maybe there is some truth to that statement for sure. Actually, I somewhat agree with that. But yeah, 100%. Humor is really important in those specific stages. Absolutely. Like all the way down to, for example, when I'm taking car details, I'll always say, if their last name or first name is even somewhat difficult to pronounce, or even if it's just like the spelling of it, like for example, your last name, right? I'm gonna butcher that if I say that. So I'm gonna like at the car details, your last name now. Now, Vito, I am from a very small place called Tasmania, and we don't know how to pronounce last names down there or even spell sometimes, right? So would you be able to help me out with that? Like we kind of do a bit of a joint effort, and they're like, oh yeah, whatever, like so on, so on. Perfect, right? Like you need to be doing that right before, like all the way up until payment is taken.
Okay.
Yeah. So any light humor you can do, uh, the better for sure. It just diffuses the whole situation, makes things less pressury. Cool. Any other questions top of mind? All good if there's not. Nothing. Okay. Josh?
Sorry, I just have a quick one about like questions for pain specifically. Like I know you're supposed to get like logistical things that they like, and then the emotional, but like what are some questions I could be asking?
What question can you be asking for more pain?
Yeah.
In what context? Like why are
Um,
you asking that?
sorry?
It's like why what's What's the context of the question? Like, why are you asking that? Have you struggled in the past to pull out pain, or?
Oh yeah, I'm not very good at pulling out pain. Like I feel like it's just superficial, and then yeah, I feel like it's just superficial when I'm trying to pull out pain. Like, oh, I wouldn't feel good. And I'm like, oh, I mean, why wouldn't you feel good?
And then it just stops there.
Yeah, and like I'm like I go into like I like do you think about weight often and stuff like that, but I try to like smooth and like smoothly into that.
What I would recommend is focusing more on your probing and clarifying questions more. Because that's how you get to deep pain quickly. For example, you wouldn't feel good. Can you give me an example of what you mean by that?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
The more subtly better you get at this, yeah, the better it's gonna get. So it's very much down to your probing and clarifying questions. Sometimes these people will be quite closed off, for sure. That is 100% bound to happen. But again, looking at your variance in clarifying and probing questions, like and flexibility in so as well, like how come, how so, why is that, how's that showing up in your day to day? Again, what does that do for you? What's that doing to this area of your life? Um, how long has that been going on? How often does this happen? What else here I've got? Can you explain that a bit more? What does that look like for you? Can you walk me through that? What do you mean by that? How do you mean? Can you help me understand that better? What's behind that? Right? Um, why do you feel like that is? What makes you think that way? Why do you think that's happening? What's giving you that impression? Right? Um, I think you get the idea.
And like at what point do I ask the impact question? Do I do that like somewhere through the middle?
Wherever you want to ask it. I mean, obviously, committed coach has a bit of a different structure to what I'm used to, but wherever you want to use it, which makes sense
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
at all. Guys, well, you know where to find me if you need me. Always on school, always active, always there to answer your questions if you need me. Um, Otherwise, I might see you on the second call today. If not, no worries. No harm, no foul. Australian time zones are very rough on that call. Otherwise, if I don't see you, enjoy the rest of your Thursdays and Fridays and your weekend, and I'll see you guys next week. See you, gents.